for sure. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's Solutionary. But he's a good dude. He's a very smart guy, man. He has a funny thing is he actually has a holistic approach to it too, because he's talking about working out, exercising, stuff like
Yeah,
that. Kind of like how you
I,
guys with the
kind of got that.
yeah, so he's your mental health, your physical health, being well trained in firearms and stuff like that. So I got a lot of respect for him. And then he's from the city of Philadelphia, where I'm from too. So
Right. Well, that's a good
and
thing.
he's
That's a
still
good
there,
thing.
man. I think he's doing a
Still
great
there.
work. He's still there, man. His place is in Philadelphia, and
That's what's up. That's
I
what's up.
mean, kudos to him, man. I got a lot of respect for what he does, and like real talk. So and I know that there was one point that he was, raising money, and I know he probably still trying to, because a lot of stuff that he tries to do, I think he tries to do it for free. So he functions off of like donations and people contributing and stuff like that, man.
Okay.
I got a lot of
Okay.
respect for him, man. I think what he's doing is great, man. And I know one day I've already donated to his thing, but I'm going to definitely do it again down the road. You know what I mean, but I always try. That's why when you hear me talk about Black Lives Matter, that's what I be. He's the one I be talking about, man. And I think
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I respect what he does, man. I think he's real good. I like, instead of me trying to say, people like, oh, you should do train. Nah, I send you go see this
Right.
brother, right?
Go see this brother.
Trust me. Because
Okay. Okay.
honestly, if I had like if I the next when I get time, I'm actually going to probably go sit through their courses, because I know there's going to be a lot that I'm going to learn out of it. You know what I mean,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
even
Okay.
with the experience that I do have, I don't mind being a student sometimes too. You know what I mean,
Okay.
but
Okay.
um, I thought this story was very interesting. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I thought this story was very, very interesting, and that's why we're gonna try deep dive into it.
All
Most
right.
of the time, I send you.
Wait. Wait.
Go ahead.
Wait. Gotta ask this question.
Hmm.
Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right, and that's what I was getting ready to get into. Normally, I will not watch a story, um, because I like to let it try to see it in real time. But this time, I actually listened to the story. So
Oh,
this time, I'm not going to be watching it in actual, like, I already know the story. I watched it once. I did not try to dissect what he was saying or anything. I just watched it through, and that was the end of it. But um, so we're gonna watch it all together again. I'm gonna watch it this time, and I'm gonna actually pay more attention. I just thought it was I like it. I really did, and but I also like the Jay. I like to get Jay's perspective. Jay likes to get my perspective, and we like to get the audience perspective. So we want
absolutely.
everybody to join in and listen to this
Everybody
kind of
join in. This for
yeah,
everybody.
everybody,
Everybody join in.
everybody,
Everybody jump in. Everybody.
and
If you a gun owner, you need to jump in. You think about
so
buying a gun, you need to jump in. You want to have a gun, you best to get in here.
yeah. So I did watch it, and I did comment on it. And I actually commented on the video that I was going to use this on the show today,
Okay.
on his channel.
All
So
right. That's
because I just thought it was an interesting story, but I like it because me and Jay usually we a lot of time we have just the same agreement, but there's some rare cases where we have difference of a view. That's all,
right.
and that's the reason why we do this show, is to get more than one perspective, and so that we can see things from other perspective other than our own. So sometimes me and him agree a lot. Sometimes we have slightly different, and it's not about right or wrong. It's about helping each other see things a little bit more clear, because sometimes he sees stuff that I don't see. Sometimes I see stuff that he don't see. Sometimes his perspective is right. Mine may be wrong. My perspective might be right. His may be wrong, or vice versa.
He right all the time. That's why his opinion matters.
But
I just get lucky.
I just thought this was an interesting I thought this was a real interesting story, and but we're gonna dissect into it, because into it. I was gonna send you another video, but I said nah, I'm not even gonna bother.
Listen, you know me. I would have been more than ready.
Well, it was from the last video we started talking about that woman lying. It was
Oh
one of
my
those type
God.
of video. It was
Okay.
one of them
Okay.
type of
Okay.
video.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Just for us to react to it. I thought it was I was like, nah, I'm gonna leave this one alone.
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
But Jay, whenever you're ready, if you got anything to add,
Okay.
you can add to it. But other than that, whenever you're ready, we can bring the video up and
Lock it up, baby, lock it up. Let's roll that beam footage.
Here's an interesting story, pro-gun Second Amendment story you've never heard about.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right. Hold on 1 second.
Never heard. Here's an interesting story, pro-gun Second Amendment story you've never heard about. It was a 20-year-old named Jalen Tyrus Eubanks. Approached in what he believed was a threatening manner by two men in a car. He thought they might try to hit him with his vehicle, so he brandished to warn them and protect himself. And I can't even really call it brandishing, because brandishing, little quick lesson, guys. Brandishing kind of implies that you're just trying to be threatening as opposed to, hey, I'm armed, step back, right? There's a difference between brandishing to threaten people and scare them to do bad shit, or presenting your firearm, getting it from concealment, clearing your garment, and even presenting and issuing commands. You should take the Firearms Basics protocol. Type BGM, it'll come to you. Anyway, he thought they might try to hit him with his vehicle, so he present the firearm to ward him off and then protect himself. Later on, he get arrested under Florida's law, which bans concealed carry for adults under 21 years old. Republican-led Florida. That happened. Nonetheless, his defense team argued that the restriction was unconstitutional because it treated 18 to 20-year-olds differently from other legal adults under the Second Amendment. Sidebar again, the militia age is 17. So the 4th District Court of Appeals of Florida agreed, struck down the age restriction, and vacated his conviction. Florida's Attorney General chose not to defend the law further, so this ruling now is applied statewide, all across Florida. Not only did this young dude successfully protect himself, but this court decision now empowers potentially millions of young adults across Florida with their constitutional right to carry. Stories like this do not go viral. They just don't, because it pushes back against the anti-gunners' narratives. It is very rarely highlighted that a black man specifically, men in general, but black men specifically exercising and defending their rights or the significant impact of this type of engagement, very rarely do that type of shit get highlighted. Instead, what they try to do is package everybody black as the victim, everybody black as the criminal, or you better be in the military or law enforcement. And that's the reason why on this channel, at least, I don't know about anybody else, but on this channel, you are consistently going to hear these types of stories. Presented a firearm, defended life, changed legislation in the direction of human rights as codified in the supreme law of the land, the Second Amendment as it relates to firearms. And this is amazing. Huge shouts to him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, as well as I want everybody to get informed. We got a Firearms Basics course. If you're watching this on Instagram, type the letters BGM. It'll come directly to your DM automatically. If you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere else, hit the link below. Getting informed and then sharing this safe and responsible lifestyle as far as firearms with your people is the height of being a safe and responsible firearms owner. My name is Maj Toure, the founder of Solutionary University. Looking forward to chopping it up with y'all in the comment section and you getting access to the protocols immediately. Be safe.
Yeah. So, of course, I could have stopped that before that because I wanted to let him finish, kind of plug in what he did. So that's why I let it go. Because, like I said, I don't. Before I get into anything else, I'm gonna let Jay go. But before I get into anything else, I have much love for my brother. I think I got nothing but respect for him, man. But the hat was killing me.
I know. I know I'm going to get a lot of kickback off of the statement that I'm going to make. I know it, and I know it's. I could tell you right now. I know 5 people that are going to be on my hind part very soon about what I'm about to say. But I tell you like this: I don't give a. I'm secure in my spot. That's the way I say it. You heard me, right? I say I'm secure. I'm secure. I'm secure in my spot. But I couldn't. Unfortunately, the only thing I kept thinking about was Lou Ferrigno playing the Hulk. All kept seeing was the two muscles constantly shivering right under his bad beard.
Um,
And I'm like, is
oh,
he gonna turn green any moment? I mean, because I understand he keeps doing,
yeah,
doing all this hand movement. I just keep seeing the muscles looking like Terry Crews when Terry Crews be bouncing his boobs. You're like, yeah, I said his boobs.
yeah. He's no, it was just I was just like,
I,
I mean, he
I
cool
really,
dude. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you watch his video, you go to his channel. He's
yeah.
actually he's a very good, very intelligent, level-headed. But the hat was killing
Look,
me.
I know. Like I said, I'm gonna get some kickback off it, but I don't care. I don't care because at the end of the day, if it's funny to me because I know Terry Crews got this bad habit of always shaking his pecs, and I know, Lou Ferrigno did the same thing right before he turned into his Green Hulk stuff, and
Right.
it's just funny how his beard is all jacked up, and I'm just seeing these two little muscles going like this.
But
I
but
had to
outside of
I had to put the video down and just keep listening to what he was saying because I just couldn't. I just couldn't. But anyway, let's move on from that. All that
but
sidebar
outside
stuff.
of that, what the first thing that shocked me was when he said Florida, because I honestly would have never thought that would have happened in Florida, because Florida, everybody talk about Florida and Texas and gun rights and stuff like that, and like you
Right.
said about the Second Amendment and about the 17 Second Amendment. Now here's the thing, right? Exactly. Like he said about it being 17. Now here's where I had a problem with that when they tried to throw that 21-year-old stuff like that. They're drafting people at 18 years old, right? And they handing them a gun and they putting them out there and say, "Oh, protect the country." Now you want 18-year-olds to go protect the country and put their life on the line, but you don't want
Right.
18-year-olds to have firearms to protect themselves at home.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're still under the same threat. Doesn't matter whether it's foreign or domestic. There's still a threat of someone trying to take your life. So that's why I disagreed with it. Overall, and my thing is this: honestly speaking, I don't really. I just, again, I want government totally out of it. Like, I want them to go. I want the Second Amendment to be treated the way it's supposed to be treated. Government, stay out of it. You have no right to tell us what we can and cannot have as it relates to weapons defending ourselves against you. So that when you start throwing out restrictions and throwing out this and throwing out that, and this is where I have a problem with the police department and law enforcement and DEAs and all that other stuff. You guys are also participating in the bullcrap, because if these politicians get together and write these type of laws, you guys are the ones that go out there and enforce the stuff. Why are you enforcing something that is against the law just because someone tried to overwrite a law on top of the original Constitution?
I can tell you why. And you bring up a very, very valid point. And unfortunately, it comes down to the most ridiculous thing that many, many people tend to overlook. These are paid employees to follow what their boss tells them to do.
Right.
In order to keep your job, you got to do what your boss tells you to do. Bottom
Right.
line. So you do it to save your job. Do you do
Right.
it honestly because you know the laws? There's a very few amount of law enforcement officers out there. I don't care about what state you're in. I don't care what part of this blue planet you're standing on. There is not a vast majority of police officers that can manage the penal law in any state that they work at.
No, I
Really
agree.
can't.
I agree. Now I got to give. I don't know what level, but when Virginia was doing what they was doing, the law enforcement over there said we're not doing that. Like, they told them we're not enforcing it. Y'all can put what y'all want to put there. We're not enforcing it. Because if you're law enforcement and you go through proper law enforcement training, you understand that the United States Constitution is supreme law. So if you know that the United States Constitution is supreme law, the Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You already know that what they're trying to do is an infringement on the rights of the people, meaning that, but the rights of the people voted for you, now you want to infringe on their rights. So my thing is this, is that in law enforcement, the ones that go through proper training know this. And that's why I think these law enforcement turned around and said, no, I'm doing We're not doing that. We're not enforcing that because it's unconstitutional. You don't need a judge to tell you that. You just got to know the Constitution. And you can't tell me that these politicians don't know because they do know. No voice. Can't hear you. Your mic's off.
I'm not going to say this is any truth, yet what you're saying is very true. And I want to piggyback off of the belief about the politicians. Right. Now, the politicians, unfortunately, and I can say this comfortably, politicians, unfortunately, prefer to lie about what they want to do for the citizens. Yet their main goal is to hinder the law-abiding citizen. That's why most of the time, any laws that are actually put in place are done between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the average individual citizen is sleeping. And they do that for a purpose because they know no one's going to stand in front of them and argue. Because if you ever notice how when there's town hall meetings or town hall forums and there's maybe one or two politicians, that's it. It's not the whole Senate. It's not the whole Congress. Why is that Congress and the Senate always meet from midnight to 5 a.m.? And it's all of them. So with that being said, it comes back to, again, many citizens in many states need to stop voting for the skin color of the person versus the language they are speaking that would actually assist and follow through with what you need. Because at the end of the day, as a tax-paying citizen, that's the key phrase, tax-paying citizen, you're paying into their salaries.
Right.
And for them to turn around and hinder you from your rights, and in this particular case, what we're talking about, your Second Amendment right, which is the right to carry, and I agree. If you're old enough, and I went a little further, just a quick little side note, I went a little further and found a news article about it, and I actually found the court proceeding papers on the case. Okay. And the one thing out of everything that's being said, I can totally agree with, and this is where, in many states, many people need to ask this question. Like you said a moment ago, if you're old enough to get drafted and or put into the military, get given a firearm, whether it's a rifle or a pistol, and then told, go across this country, go across this border, jump on this ship, jump out of this plane, ride this submarine. When you get there, you shoot everything. But yet here in the United States, on this beautiful big blue planet that we live on, in the United States, certain states want to turn around and say, oh, no, wait a minute, you're 18? No, you can't have a firearm. But you can buy a rifle, but you can't have a firearm. Make it make sense. So you're telling me I could buy one thing, but I'm not able to buy the other. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It don't. So don't hinder me when I want to protect myself, because you want me to protect you. You let me carry that pistol with 300 rounds in it, but you won't let me carry my own pistol with 6 rounds in it.
Right. And my thing is, again, the first question you got to ask yourself, and this is what I always try to iterate. They come up with a law that says, oh, we want to limit you to 10-round capacity magazine. We're going to entertain that conversation for a minute, right? So we want to write a law that says that everybody, and if you're in the chat, I want to know, everybody has to have 10 rounds capacity magazine. That's your limit, right? Okay. Right. So let's look at the criminal element. How is that going to stop criminals? I would like to know from anybody on the chat right now, how is limiting them, putting a limit capacity on the magazine, how does that affect criminals? How does that stop? Somebody tell me. How does that stop criminals? Now, here's number 2. Saying that banning certain weapons, right? How does that stop criminals from getting those weapons? How does it stop?
That I'm gonna quote Jackie Gleason when he said the $99,000 question.
So for the people that always try to make this, I want to know. So when you go to buy a firearm, you gotta fill out a background check, right?
Facts.
You gotta fill out. Every time I go purchase a firearm, I gotta fill out the stupid paperwork that I don't agree with. I really don't. I
Right.
totally
Right.
don't agree. All right, so you fill out a background check, right? And you go in, and they say, okay, this is to prevent criminals from owning, well, from having firearms, right?
Right. Right.
I'm in the gun store filling out paperwork that says this is to prevent criminals from owning a firearm. Meanwhile, on my phone, criminals are out there murdering people. And they didn't have to do none of this. They didn't have to go fill out anything, but yet they have the firearm. Now here's again, so how again, with all of this stuff that they keep talking, how in the world is any of this? I wish somebody would tell me, because I know it's the dumbest thing ever when they say it. If you're going to limit someone's capacity and how much rounds they're supposed to have in the, how is that going to stop criminals from getting 30-round mags, 15-round mags?
And then the next best question is, Brother Ron, why is it that they have a better weapon than you do?
I know. Right. Yeah. Right. Tell me about it.
Criminals will have a 50 BMG before you get yours legally.
Because here's one thing that y'all, and I gave it some thought, but I never really spoke it. And then the same dude that we was watching the video in said the very same thing that I had in my head, but I never spoke about it. And I want to tell y'all, I'm probably going to get a little bit of heat for this one. But if you really think about it, it's actually true. Who do you think follows the Second Amendment the right way? With the YNs that they call, on the street, or me and you?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Who do you think follow the rule the best? The YNs on the street, or me and you?
The YNs on the street?
Absolutely. 100% correct. And the reason why I'm
go ahead.
I'm not saying that to say that the way that they're doing stuff on the streets is okay, because that's not what I'm saying. My point is, the government is not supposed to know what you have. So us as idiots is telling the government that we purchase a firearm. The ones on the street don't do that. So they are actually following the Constitution by far better and more really about the Constitution than we are. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Well, I can tell you, you're not wrong. And I'm going to piggyback off what you said. And the reason why I agree with you, we both agree that it's the YNs, because here's where the funny tidbit that many people tend to not realize. The Second Amendment specifically states in there the word, and I'm going to use the word exactly how it says, militia, right? That means a group of people come together to protect themselves against government tyranny.
Right.
And to protect themselves from the infringement that the government wants to provide. And I say provide because many of us are stupid enough to go ahead and fill out the paperwork and tell them, okay, I done bought 3,000 guns and 400 million bullets and all that other stuff. But yet, as we said a moment ago, the YNs and many of those that don't follow the law have more weapons, more bullets, better weapons, and don't even get accosted in trying to have it registered or find out where it's at.
Because here's the thing. If something was to happen, the government don't know what they have. They have a better defense against government terror than we do, because the government knows what we have. They act like they don't know. But in the video that we did a while ago, what did it tell us? They know. Why? Because the United States of America wasn't supposed to have a gun registry, but what do we have?
We have a gun registry.
A gun registry. The United States ain't supposed to keep record of all the citizens that own firearms and what they have, but what did they do?
They created it.
To the point where they put almost 90+% of it in digital form.
That's
so
right.
Make that make sense.
This way it's going to get destroyed.
The so-called YNs, who everybody always criticizing, honestly, I got to give them a little bit of credit, because they're actually doing it the way it's supposed to be done. The government not supposed to know what you have. Somewhere along the line, we surrendered our rights to the government, And this is where I have the problem with this is where I have the problem with what do you call it, the Supreme Court, because I think they laxy daisy about their real job. I know I'm getting freezing around here, but it is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. It's StreamYard.
I think you got to check your on your I think the server. Make sure your bandwidth is whatever internet you're using.
Uh-huh.
Make sure the setting is not 2.4. Make sure it's a 5 gig or 5 HD.
Yeah, it is. It should be anyway, but I'll recheck it again just to make sure.
Recheck, because if it's 2.4, if you ever see 2.4, that'll be the reason why you're freezing, because it's on the low end of your bandwidth.
Yeah,
but right now, don't worry about it. We can hear you.
Yeah. But yeah, so for y'all, and I know we've been having crazy like weather around here too. So not like so-called thunderstorms coming, but they don't come. Weather windy was one day was just windy as I don't know what, but it wasn't nothing happening. So we got weird weather.
Right.
But again,
let's ask the channel and those that are in the bushes and those that are commenting. Right. How old do you have to be in your state in order to carry an actual pistol, not a rifle, a pistol? How old do you have to be?
I don't even know.
Huh?
I don't even know about my state, but I'm getting ready to go check.
Because there's a difference. A lot of states say, well, if you're 18, you can only buy.
It's 18 here, but I'm not sure.
You can only buy a rifle. You can't have a pistol. And then there's other states that say we don't even require you to be an age to get a pistol. You can get a pistol and a rifle. So
yeah, it's 18 here. According to Google.
That's disgusting.
And you can get a handgun. It said handgun.
You know, we look at all these laws that are created by individuals that are afraid to stand up on their own, and they want the citizens to fight for them. But how do you fight? How do you fight a system that goes against you? And like the brother Maj said, you know, brother Maj put it everywhere, 18 everywhere.
No, actually,
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna have to.
You get 18 to legally possess one, but you can't purchase until 21. Meaning someone can buy it and gift it to you.
Right. And that's where it gets tricky.
But rifles and shotguns, yeah. Handguns, that's where it gets a little tricky.
And it's still a bad thing. It really is, because in essence, if the government says we want you to go fight overseas and you're 17, you're messing up that young person's life right now.
Yeah, you have to go through like a private transfer, legal private transfer at 18. You can't purchase it from the store, which is the dumbest thing ever. All of it is stupid, but whatever.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, 18, you can still possess a handgun. You just can't. Well, according to the law, according to the Constitution, you could be 17, which makes sense. Honestly, I think younger than that, but that's just me personally. Accompanied by a dog.
Now, it's, you know, as we come back to the story that we heard from Maj,
right.
As that young man did what he did legally, because of course in Florida it's a stand your ground law.
Right.
Somebody sitting inside a 20,000 pound vehicle looking at you, yeah, I'm going to pull my thing out too. Now, the interesting thing is that the federal law, of course, the government, is called 18 USC semicolon 922. 2. It says a federal crime for anyone under the age of 18 to possess a handgun or handgun ammunition. That's everywhere. Pretty much what I think it's not too late. Not too late was right, with the exception that there's a slippery slope behind that. It says 18 is a minor, is to buy and carry a pistol, because we're talking about pistols. It says the federal and state laws treat individuals under 18 and those 18 to 20 completely different. And it's all about how they see you as an adult, which is funny because now
That's subject to opinion.
that is true. Now we saw a video because we actually had a video up. Back to a big old shout out to the Van Tack family. We saw how this former possible Navy SEAL, recon Marine, was teaching his son how to fire all kind of weapons and how to protect his family, his property, his mother, his father. And he said it. He said, my son is not old enough to carry a firearm into town. So with that being said, I'll put the firearm on me because I'm allowed to carry it. But if something goes down, you best believe my son is going to shoot you. And we saw how the son came from behind the father with pistol drawn.
Ready to go.
That's where it gets real tricky because, and like he said, like Van Tack in his video said, it says, who are you to decide and justify that my son is not a responsible gun owner?
Right.
And that's where it comes back down to. It's responsible because, of course, if you're responsible and in the sports, you could be 17, 16, 15, 14, and so forth and become a professional, but you can't carry a pistol to protect yourself. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know, so one more moment. So I want to read this last thing to you.
Go ahead.
States that broadly allow individuals aged 18 and older to own both privately and purchase handguns and carry them, whether open or concealed, is Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Louisiana, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Vermont. So this is why, again, it becomes a slippery slope. Now, this is the most important part, what I'm going to mention here. What this young man did in the state of Florida, at the time he was 18, just like Maj said, he went up against the Supreme Court. He went the right route.
And won.
And he fought and won.
And changed
and
the rule statewide.
Yes, which now makes it difficult for almost every possible politician to turn around and argue and say that no 18-year-old is supposed to carry a weapon. That's going to go like wildfire through every state that allows you to carry your firearm. Because you cannot hinder a law-abiding citizen from protecting themselves under the Second Amendment.
Right.
It does not work.
Right, exactly. And it's not about the criminal, it's about government tyranny.
Right,
and that's tyranny. And that's the reason why he won that case, because they went there and they argued it the correct way. Yep. Oh, he needs no government tyranny. So at that point, they knew that there was nothing they could do besides drop the case, let it go, and let him go in on. And matter of fact, change the rules statewide because at the end of the day, it was wrong.
Right.
You should have never been there anyway.
No, that is 100% true. Now, we also have to look at the other concept behind that. That means every single individual at the age of 18 that did have a firearm, that did get in trouble, becomes vindicated.
Yep. And the difference is that he must have had the right people behind him to go fight that case.
Absolutely.
The other ones probably just accepted their fate and went on and dealt with it.
Right.
But this is what I mean by, when you look at the Constitution and the Second Amendment, the way it was originally written, this is why it's the way it is. Now, here's the thing. What's up, my brother out the pit? What's going on, brother?
Little nephew out the pit.
This is where I think that the thing I always try to tell people is you got to get the criminal part out of it. You got to take that part out of it. We're going to get to this question in a second. But you got to take the criminal part of it. Now, the other thing is that, and I know I'm not a person that push skin color because it's not really always about skin color, but I do want to point out the fact of the matter is, as much as black people get a lot of bad rap,
right.
This is what I want to point out also is a lot of time black people get a lot of bad rap for a lot of stuff. This was a
Right.
black man. It's a young black man that went about it the right way. And listen, he changed state law because he fought back the right way. You get what I'm saying? So for anybody that's a young brother in Florida and you 18, pat, if you run across him, pat that brother on the back, say thank you for hooking us up.
That's right. You better thank
But
him. That's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
those are the things that like instead of celebrating all of the talking about the ones that's on the street doing all the dumb stuff. This is one. This is what I don't understand. Right, out of all of the stuff they try to highlight, that they bring up that black people done. How is it that this story, a black man changed state law because he fought back? No black people knew about this.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, why isn't it that this, for the Democrats who so-called love the black race so much, because this go against their narrative, we know that too, but why didn't they highlight this? Right? Why he ain't got no statue?
I could tell you why. I could tell you why.
Well, you know why. But
Yeah.
again, why he don't have no rally behind him and what he did? This man went to court and changed state law in the state of Florida.
That's right.
So again, for all those that say that for the way the blackity blacks, where the Roland Martins and the blackity blacks are, why are they not on this one? Because this
That's
right
right.
here is a big one to me. Like,
That's right.
you can take all that stuff that they throw out there. That is a big one to me because here's the thing. If they was, let's say in the state of Florida, they decide, you know what, we're going to try to enslave all black people. Because we know they're not going to have the right to keep and bear arms, right?
Right.
They're going to probably start with out the pit. No, I'm joking.
True. They don't go
But
after
you
him,
understand,
they grab it.
you understand my point. My point is now y'all don't have, they fought and got a restriction away from y'all, so y'all don't feel subject to all of that in the state of Florida.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is how you liberate people. So I know they might have taken it lightly, but to me, he liberated a lot of people by what he did.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. I agree. And to piggyback off of that, like you said, here's a perfect moment or a perfect time for anyone of melanated skin, whether you're caramel, like a brown paper bag, or you black as tar, the tar that you walk and drive on.
Right.
This is the moment where you say, you know what? Then I need to stand up and show everybody that this young man did it for us. You know how they always say someone needs to speak up for the black people?
Mm-hmm.
He spoke up for the black people. Why ain't nobody standing? Why is there no
Why
rally,
isn't
like you said? Why is there no major talk on YouTube? Why is there no major talk on TikTok? Why is it that the black community, as all you people, yeah, I said it, all you people call yourselves black, don't come together and praise this young man for liberating your rights? I said it. That's right. You people. That's right. Y'all don't like it, right? I'm gonna say it. Y'all people darker than me that call yourselves black. Why y'all ain't screaming and hollering?
Now,
Waving flags. Why y'all ain't waving flags now in the middle of the street talking about, yeah, we've been liberated?
right. That's what, in my opinion, like, that's powerful what he did. I know they might take it lightly, but in my opinion, that is extremely powerful what he did because he took on the court and the justice system and he won.
And won.
Wait a minute, he won at the supreme level.
At 18.
At 18.
Because this was when he was 18.
Right.
He won.
And he won. And what he did was, right, and so my thing is this, is that now that to me is a big one. That's why I was like, yo, I love the story. I'm glad he brought it out because I wouldn't have never known it. Even he said it. He said, this is the stuff that don't make mainstream media. Why not? This should have been.
Do I need to answer?
Well, we know the answer.
All right. All right.
We know the answer, but
Because ain't nobody shaking their ass and bouncing their titties and beating somebody else up. That's why I didn't make
right.
That's why I didn't do it.
Again, I'm not the first person to bring the story up. He was, and from me, I got it from him. I got it from mine. You know what I mean? But that's why I said, man, you know what? This would be a good story for the show because this is the type of stuff that we take lightly. And I think, like I said, this one right here was up there big because I'm like, wow, he liberated a whole lot of people. And I'm not just saying melanated people. I'm talking about everybody that's from 18 on up to 21. He liberated that whole group. And for people that are in the state of Florida that is melanated, that feel like they are under pressure that they can't own stuff because they're 18, 19, and 20, we know that there is if you're a melanated person in America, there is something in you that makes you feel like you can't do certain things that other people are allowed to do. It might not even be true, but it just kind of comes with the upbringing of how you brought up. Like I know in Philadelphia, growing up in Philly, I didn't think I was able to own a firearm. I thought it was against the law to own firearms because I never dug into the subject. I just thought guns are bad, and that's what they said, and I just went with what they said. But it's not till you start to dig into this stuff that you find out these knuckleheads are not telling us the truth. They are the ones leaving us suspect to what if let's just say, for instance, the KKK want to go wacko, right? Everybody that's not well armed is going to be subject to that. Am I right? So for the very same people that always talking about racism and white supremacy and all this other stuff, these are the very same people that still writing laws to limit your ability to protect yourself. So which one is it? So if you saying you want the people to have the right to protect themselves from all of this type of behavior, then guess what? You would make sure that the people are well prepared, meaning having access to the best weapons possible just in case this stuff happens. That's why you know they lying.
Yep.
Yeah, man. But
I
thought that was a great story.
It is a great story. And I want to piggyback off that story after we answer this question, because not too late. I got to tell you, I really appreciate you swinging by on the channel, chiming in, making comments, giving us your view on things, coming up with some great questions. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, the one thing that you got to know about me is I come with receipts. And I'm not saying you're trolling. I'm not saying what you did is a bad thing. What I am going to say is what I'm about to show you, you need to really think about that question you posed there a moment ago. Right?
All right, let's go back to the question first.
Go ahead.
So everybody knows what we're talking about. Do you trust children under the age of 13 to be armed in public? I don't. Now,
let's leave it up there for a minute. Can we leave it up there for a minute? Just for a quick minute. Let's leave it up there for a quick minute.
We're going to leave it up there. Now,
we're going to leave it up there. Just leave it up there for a quick minute.
I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
I always been on the fence with this one because I think that there is a determination in that factor of who the kid is and how capable the kid is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's what it means. Like, I don't want to say no, and I don't want to say yeah. I'm kind of one of those people that's like, let's see the kid first.
Okay. I got that's right. That's true. I'll give you that. Now, we know on this channel, on the OG Network, on Firearm Fridays, we have presented, I know for a fact, because I know I brought it up. Right. I've shown on this channel, when we talk about guns, on how children under the age of 13 are incapable, meaning they should never have anything in their hands other than a pacifier and a bottle of milk. And recently, I had to keep my mouth shut after what I saw with this young man. Okay? So, not too late. I want you to think about something for a quick moment. I'm going to show you something now, and I hope that you're still in the chat.
Out the fence said not no, but hell no.
And now, okay, so now we have two people.
Before we go there, all right. Let me put it. All right, that's a little tricky of a question because they says trust. You get what I'm saying? So it's like,
okay.
So that's how I say it's kind of tricky in it. Then. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. Like let's say you got a kid that's trained. Like my kid know how to use a firearm and train.
Okay.
That's a little scary too because he might get mad at me.
Hey, Dad, what happened to my milk and cookies?
I want 3 cookies tonight, Dad, not 2. We all right with that? You all right with that, right, Dad?
Click. Now what? I'm just saying. So
yeah, I get it. But go ahead.
So I want you guys. out the pit. Listen, I love you as a nephew. You have a great mind. You got a great spirit. There's no negativity that I know of in anywhere inside you.
That was too
And I
funny.
applaud you for saying that. Yet, unfortunately, I'm going to introduce you to someone that if you turn around and you tell me that this is a bad thing, then you and I really have to have a conversation privately. Look here now.
All right, son. Controlling. All right. Don't forget, you got to pick it up out of that to engage target, right? So you see a target, up, out, down on your knee, engage it.
Now, if
One
you
shot.
want me to continue, one shot. You heard the ding.
Yep.
Now, this is what I want you guys to look at. And this is how I know. See, now I'm with that. See that? So let me finish. Let me look. Let me just say this. You got to be extremely trained by a military person that knows that stance right there that little boy took.
Right.
Here's the worst part. I've known that this little boy has been training with his father, which is right there, since the age of 5. We have video of him at the age of 7 showing people how
Right.
respectable he is with the
Right.
firearms. Okay? Let me just finish this.
Malfunction. Pull it. Get it under. Good job. That's good. Finger off the trigger. Safe. Pick it up. Put it in the pouch. All right. Controlling.
Now, when you say trust, listen, I will blindfold my funny fat ass, handcuff my arms to my legs, hop around and roll down on the ground and get pushed around like a damn sack of potatoes as long as that young man got my back.
Yeah.
Okay? So, again, that young man in that video was only 9 years of age when he did that video. His father is either a former Navy SEAL or a former recon Marine. Now,
I'm the parent said most black kids hold the gun sideways, and honestly speaking, I know when you're having humor, and I'm with the humor part, but this is exactly why we always say training is necessary, because
crucial.
see, the kids that's holding the gun sideways because they watched some cool stuff go on in the movie and they thought that was legit.
Yep.
That's it. That's where they get the mistake from. Like, they thought that was the way it's supposed to be done because they thought, it looks cool.
Right.
No, it looked like a fool.
Right.
Go get real training. Learn how to. If you're going to own a firearm, you're going to handle firearms. Go get real training by real people that know what they're doing.
Facts.
And do it the right way.
Facts.
I mean, listen. First of all, you better. It's so much more better of an experience when you do.
Totally.
The whole it changes the whole. When you know what you're doing and you're effective at it. When you go to the range and you shooting and you enjoy yourself, it has a whole different perspective and a whole different experience in it than if you just out there trying to be reckless with it. Trust me when I tell you. Not the lady said, nope, this kid is dangerous. Yeah.
Damn right he's dangerous. Damn right he's dangerous.
Yeah, he's dangerous. And
he's
honestly,
dangerous enough to protect his family.
Right. And that's what you want. Because honestly speaking, we watched a few videos with this kid. And yes, he's dangerous. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't know what's going on in the mind of a person. But what the thing that I respected the most about him, we both talked about this, Jay, was the way he wanted to please his father.
Yes.
You've seen it in his demeanor.
Yes.
That he wants you didn't see a kid that feel like, oh, my dad keep making me do this. He wanted to please his father on every aspect of it. And to me, that boy loves his father. He loves what he's doing, but he also loves his father. And he loves what he's doing. And he's enjoying it. He don't look forced. He looks like he embraced what he's doing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think when he really gets older and older, man, he gonna be something else.
Now there is, and I can see where Not Too Late is referencing, whether it's jokingly or seriousness, that he's
Right.
dangerous, because here's where the 10% is where I agree that he's dangerous. He's dangerous because he's too good for anyone else to not understand what he's doing.
Right.
If that makes any sense. And I say this like this for a reason. We met an individual named Justice Runs on Diesel.
Yes.
Fabulous and wonderful brother. Okay.
Right.
Even though he's Caucasian, he's still a brother. Right?
Yes. Yes.
He spoke in a way that even I said, I gotta worry about you a little bit. So you gotta be careful what you're doing. And then he turned around and he said, I could do X, Y, and Z to you. I said, do you really want to try? And he was like, well, and then he started realizing, wait a minute, I made a mistake. I couldn't say that right. And it's just because when you train the right way,
right,
you are definitely by far much more powerful in the sense of utilizing a weapon for protection. It is dangerous because there is no weapon that can stop you from doing what you need to do. That's where the dangerous part comes in. And I have to agree with Not Too Late with the fact that he's dangerous, because we watched this young man I have, thanks again to the Vantak family of sharing all these videos about their son. We watched videos of him at 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. And as you just heard, this young man at the age of 9 or 10 is hitting targets by far the greatest ever, honestly. Okay. And when we look at the Second Amendment and we look at how this 18-year-old from Florida, this melanated kid from Florida at the age of 18, going up against government tyranny legally,
right,
and winning, now we're looking at a 9-year-old that probably around this time, he's probably 11, 12, that when it comes time for him to protect his family against government tyranny,
right,
the government can't even come close to him. We watched a video of him learning how to snipe from the trees in the snow.
Right. He's
right?
He is well prepared for combat.
And I'm gonna pick it back off of one word you said, and I loved it when you said it, Brother Ron. He's obedient.
Right.
The obedience that he has and the respect for the weapons is impeccable.
Right.
You see how he follows what his father says. Like you said, he's there to please his father, and he's enjoying it.
Right.
So when Not Too Late said this kid is dangerous, I agree. He is dangerous. He's dangerous in the fact that he is going to be the one that the government, whenever they decide or when they want to come at his father or his family or his land, he's gonna be like Sisu.
He's gonna be like what he's dangerous for what Out the Pit said.
Yeah. Yeah. That boy ready for one yo. What? Yeah. Yeah. If y'all ain't never watched the movie Sisu, watch the movie Sisu. That little boy is like Sisu.
Yeah, I think you should be like I said, I don't like government being involved. I totally, but I agree. I think as a parent, if you're a parent that believes in the firearms and stuff like that, which every parent should be, but it is what it is. I know you have to be deciding like where that lies at when it comes to your kid, because I don't think every kid is ready for that at that age. I just don't. I don't think every kid. So this is where I think as a parent you have to be very mindful of what because some kids, so when they just have such an immature behavior that they will still think it's a game and start shooting everything.
This is true.
Right. So I think as a parent, you really have to look at your kid and say, maybe that kid is ready, but not my kid.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Right.
And the reason why I said I'm glad you said that is because I don't know if we did it on this show or if I did it on one of my reaction video shows where a mother turned around and told her 9-year-old daughter to run back in the house, grab the gun, and shoot the woman that was beating her up. There was a woman getting beat up by another woman. The woman that was getting beat up told her 9-year-old daughter to go get the gun and shoot the woman that was beating her.
Wow.
Little girl went in the house, grabbed the gun, came back, shot the woman, killed her.
Hey, saved the
You
mama
know,
life.
we we talk about gun laws, we talk about training, we talk about respecting the guns, we talk about respecting the weapons that you get. And we always talk about how guns don't kill people. People
People.
kill people. You
Guns are
know,
just one of the ways they do it.
and it's unfortunate that we have to deal with this nonsense that people will kill people because, like you said, on many occasions, a rock, a knife, a bat, a stick, a tire iron, a car,
Right.
all these are considered weapons. You know, and the government doesn't want to see it as being dangerous, but they
Well,
want
those
to go.
weapons aren't as much of a threat to the government as firearms are.
Yet they are the biggest threat to
Right.
fire to the government because
So
they're easy,
here's my point.
easier
Like,
access.
they're not going to think about a bunch of people throwing rocks when they got, you know, M16s.
Yeah, tell that to the 22 police officers that got that got
Well,
really
I mean,
injured.
of course, the
in LA.
police officers, if they would have opened fire on the crowd throwing rocks, they would have been looking at that the bad guy. But
Yeah,
my thing is this: is that the point that you was making, which you're right, is it doesn't matter what type of weapon that it is. But the one thing that they always seem to want to go after is the most threatening weapons that more threatening to the government. They ain't gonna worry about rocks and sticks, even though you can kill them with that. They're more concerned about firearms because that puts distance where I don't have to be that close up on you to get you.
you sure about
Yes.
that?
Huh?
You sure about that?
Well, depending on who's shooting.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, my
You
very
was a kid before?
yeah, unfortunately, I was a rugrat. I was. I took a piece of 2x4 and I took a whole bunch of rubber bands and I tied the rubber bands around the 2x4. And then back then, when I was a kid, we had wooden clothespins, those things that you hang your clothes with. And I took that wooden clothespin and I tied it to the other end of the actual 2x4 that I had. And I
Okay.
took bottle caps and put it inside the clothespin, pulled it back with the rubber band, and held it down with another rubber band, and held that piece of wood like this. And if I saw somebody I didn't like, I pushed the little button on the actual clothespin. And that damn bottle cap came out of that damn thing faster just as a bullet.
You,
And
you, you know what we used to use? I don't I'm quite sure you probably did too. There's no way you didn't. All right, you know how you have an old bike, the rim, the bearings in there.
yeah,
We used to take, bend the things back and pull all the bearings out of it. And that's what we
yeah,
used to shoot out of our slingshots and stuff.
okay.
Once the rim was no use for you, now we get ready to recycle.
This is true. So you kind of understand that my story goes into the same thing what you said there, because when I ran out of the bottle caps and there was a broken tire or rim, as we just said,
Yeah.
you know that the rim still had what we called back in the day was spokes,
Yeah.
right? The little metal rod that you had to adjust in order to make the tire straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you took them out, there was one side that was bent, that was
Yeah.
attached to it, right? So you know how wonderful that actually is, that it actually snaps on comfortably to the bunch of rubber bands that you're holding on to and you release it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
Now,
when we took,
if you, because like you said, the bent part. Now we used to use those hook nails. We would run a hook nail in, run it through there, put it on the rubber band, pull it back, and hold that part. Let it go.
yeah, we're talking about
Yeah,
piercing, right?
yeah.
You're talking about a good 6 to 7 inch
Yeah. Dark.
tire rod as a kid.
So my point is, they're not preventing a whole lot because it's so easy to make a weapon, and this is why it just starts to get ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong; it's not. What people don't understand about bullets is this: if you can get the bullets, you don't really need the gun
Nope.
because bullets will fire if you hit that if you hit that primer hard enough. But we're gonna leave that subject on.
No, look, I got to piggyback off of it
Go ahead.
because I made one. Okay, as a kid growing up, I had to figure out what made things work. I had this bad thing as a kid that I had to tear things apart in order to know why and how they work.
I think that's just about 50% of boys.
I think so too. I took a bamboo shoot,
Okay.
and I took a bullet, and I put the bullet right in the bamboo shoot. And then I took a hammer and I glued a nail to the hammer. And I just kept trying to aim right at that little dot that's at the back of the bullet.
You're gonna kill yourself. It's gonna kill yourself.
Again, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
That's it.
So it doesn't matter what kind of weapon you have. You can still kill somebody.
Right. If you want to
The
do
gun is
damage,
to protect
Right.
from government tyranny. Because, like you say, and I'm going to try to quote you, Ron, you want the same ammunition that they're coming at you with,
yep,
or better.
or better. Honestly, I want better because that's why I've seen enough coming out of government that tells me I need to protect myself from them. I ain't worried about the street people as much as I'm worried about government.
You know, and just to piggyback off what you said, it's actually true because we watched that little boy and his father and his mother. They have buku amount of land. Okay, that's why he's able to do what he has to do with his dad. Now we know that many years ago there was a lot of stories about how the government came in and ambushed a whole bunch of people who had mountains of land, or a plethora of land, rather, should I say, and they were faced with the same firepower, M16s, AKs, and stuff like that. This is where we have to understand, if you buy something, matter of fact, not even like you buy something, right? I want to ask the people in the chat, hopefully they're still hanging around. In your home, would you allow me and my fat ass to come into your house, take my stinky socks off, put them on top of your kitchen counter, scratch myself in parts that you don't want to see, and then turn around and tell you to make me something to eat, and then turn around and tell you you're not getting paid for it? And if you say anything about it, I'm going to take your house from you. If you agree to that, then this is the reason why that is the underlining behind government tyranny. Because the government believes that they could come into your house and take what they want, and you can't say nothing about it. So how do you protect yourself about that?
Having weapons,
Exactly.
and having weapons, and also having having a over my dead body mentality.
Well, I love the way you said that, because let's not forget how Polk Sheriff Judge said the same thing. You come after my dogs, you come after my people, wearing these uniforms, trying to protect the citizens of this great state of Florida. We would notify your family where they can pick up the remains at.
We're gonna shoot you, graveyard dead.
Graveyard dead. I mean, come on now.
And again, if you look at the underlying intent behind what they're doing, those are the underlying intent: is power, control, use the laws to try to manipulate things so that they can take and steal and rob, and use these stupid laws to make everyday honest people felons so that they can put you in jail and take your product, take your livelihood, take everything from you, and use the power of the government and the law. And this is where I have a problem with the United States Supreme Court, because I feel like they should have been putting a stop to this. The other thing I have a problem with, we're so involved in trying to protect us from other foreign entities. Where is our military when it comes to these politicians doing what they're doing locally?
Right.
I personally feel like that the minute a politician introduces a bill that violates your right as the Second Amendment, the military should immediately come, pack them up, and put in prison. Immediately.
Right.
It should not be no. The minute they do that, the minute they come after your weapons, United States military should come get these governors, lawmakers, every last one of them, the minute they introduce a bill that violates your right, constitutional right, because what is their job? What do they swear oath to?
Speak it.
They
Speak
swear
it.
an oath to do what?
Come on now.
To keep the Constitution, right?
That's right.
So if the Constitution is supreme law, and then they go try to write something and they violate the Constitution, they should be in prison.
Say it
The
again.
military can come pack their behinds up and lock them up. Why? Because they broke the law. The very law that they said they were supposed to honor, they broke it.
That's right.
So if it's my job to uphold the Second Amendment, right? It said this right shall not be infringed. And then I go try to write a slick law infringing on the people's right. Didn't I just break that law?
You sure did.
So why are they not in prison?
Hey, listen. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Because we take it lightly. We as citizens, we take it too lightly. We sit back and we just take all of this type of stuff way too lightly until it hits your front door, and then you say, "Oh, I didn't know this was coming." Yeah, you knew. You just didn't believe it was coming.
Right, right.
And it goes to the point, Jay. Like, and I'm gonna bring this point up because we both was talking about this for a while. Because when we were talking about it, and I said you can't give them this much space because they're gonna go too far.
Right.
And even though I understood your point, it wasn't until we had that segment where we seen how they was keeping records of everybody that told you they really are trying.
Right, right,
And this
right.
this is a real collective effort to go after citizens. This ain't the criminals. The criminals are what they use to try to. That's why they allow the criminals to do what they do, so that they can use that as a reason why they need to pull all these gun laws. They need to write these gun laws. But that is not the reason why. Because if it was about the criminals, they'd just keep them in jail and it'd be solved.
Facts. But they didn't want to do that.
But they let them out so that they can go out there and exercise more criminal behavior, so then they can get up there and say, as a politician, "Oh, we need to do something about firearms." But in reality, you could have did something about it. Keep the ones that don't know how to behave locked up. But they won't do that. Right. They let them out because they need them as pawns so that they can keep selling that story.
Right.
When in reality, yeah, that's all it is to sell that story. We need them out there so they can sell us. So we know what they're going to do. So let them out so they can do it. So we can keep trying to sell that same story. So that when we ever get to the point where we get the citizens out that turn over their guns and give up their guns and surrender all of their rights, then we as a collective can come get them.
Right.
Because if you ever watch Congress and you watch them vote, and you notice, and I'm gonna have to say this on the Democratic side, they never vote for the right things for the citizens of America. No. They all vote the same. The vast majority, 98% of the Democrats, like when it comes to the voting rights, right? They all voted against it. Why would you vote against something that makes sense? Nobody should be voting in our system unless they're a legal citizen of America. That's common sense.
Right.
And they say, well, black people don't have ID.
Yeah.
And they say that's racist because black people don't have ID. Meanwhile, all these black people got jobs. They filled out the application. They took a picture of their ID, social security number, birth certificates. They got their tax. So all this information that you got to get to work. How all these black people get jobs?
Yeah.
And that's why I said I never understand why we still vote for Democrat when they disrespect your intellect to that level.
It's because again, it comes back to how many people select these politicians based off of their skin color versus what they are doing for them.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
it cannot be anything else that people that have some type of common sense, and I say some type of common sense, would allow politicians to dictate how they live, what they're able to protect, how they're supposed to do things.
I heard black
It's
people don't
awful.
have computers. Yeah, I remember that governor in New York said that.
Damn.
The governor in New York said that black people don't know how to use computers. Another Democrat. Another Democrat, which is Gavin Newsom, said that I'm like you. I can't read. This is what they think of black. These are the very people that black people by and large vote for. And this is the stuff that they say about black people. That I'm like you because I can't read. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
And people fall for it.
And they still fall for it and they still vote that way. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. And they'll still listen to people tell them like Roland Martin and Al Sharpton and still have you voting for these very same people as if you didn't hear what they said. Like they act like they didn't even hear what they said
Right.
because they're
Right.
part of the problem. Now, again, this is why I say for what this man did down there in Florida, and it wasn't specifically for black people, but the fact that he was a black man, young black man, did that, accomplished that, changed state law. Where was the celebration on that?
Yeah.
Right?
And the
You know,
problem
it is
is,
what it is.
and here's the problem, and this is where, for me, this is where I get upset, and this is why I don't like hearing people say I'm black.
Right.
And I'm gonna say it
And don't get me wrong, I agree. You know, I feel the same way. I don't.
because I don't understand how is it possible that if you're supposed to be so, and I'm gonna use a term that I heard somebody say, pro-black, yet that when such an inspirational situation occurs where it enhances the reason why people want to call themselves black, they don't come together to praise what has happened. Yet you prefer to praise the negativity and the buffoonery, but you don't praise the actual achievement of a nationwide issue that has been overran by one individual that happens to be dark melanated. You don't come together to show that praise. Come on. Then don't say that you pro-black. If you cannot praise the one that's fighting for you, because he
Right.
wasn't fighting for anyone, he fought for his own, fought for himself.
Right.
But yet everybody that considers themselves black should come together and say, well, here is our inspiration.
Right.
Give him credit.
He got mine. He got mine. I give him credit because I
don't
was.
get it.
When I heard that story, I was like, wow, that's powerful. You know what I mean? That's
It is.
powerful because that's the type of stuff that right there, and I know people say, how is that? No, that right there changes the game. And here's a melanated brother who fought the system, changed the state law, where everybody that's in the state of Florida, if you 18 years old, you good.
Yep.
You can have your weapon, you can carry your firearm, because he stood up. He stood up to the lawmakers, where most people would have just folded.
I would have, I'm going to say this with all true sincerity and jokingly. I would have loved to be a black fly on that wall,
Yeah.
looking at all the white people turn around and look at this 18-year-old melanated, dark-skinned individual,
Right.
tell them that they are wrong and they violated his Second Amendment. And you can desperately, you see all them white people sitting there like, or Caucasian rather, let's call them by what they are, Caucasian folks,
Right.
sitting there saying, who's that nigger on that nay?
Oh, darn it.
Come up in here and tell us what our own laws that we done created to keep these niggers in check gonna turn around and tell me what we got to do. And gosh darn it, and win.
Right. And
Now
my thing is this.
you could imagine all the Caucasian people saying, now all these niggas coming out the ground like woodwork.
Hey, but he wasn't wrong.
Wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
Not
And
at
this is
all.
why I talk. This is why I talk the way I talk. And here's the thing: is we don't. It's not an emphasizing on race, but it is a fact. You still have to. You still have to know that there is that factor is still there in America. Is it on a large scale? No. Is it the way they try to paint the picture? No. But it's still there. And at any moment, it can show up at your house or in your life or somewhere, and you're gonna have to deal with it in the moment. But if
This
you
is
stuck
true.
with a little pew pew,
Look,
you know what I mean, with a pink
that
pistol,
little pew pew stopped a 3,000-pound vehicle from moving towards them.
right.
And what he
they
said?
got but if they coming with 50 BMGs and you stuck with a little pew pew,
Look, I look
but
at
I still rather have something. But my
One
point
more
is that he was allowed. He fought to get that to set the stage right.
this is correct.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I noticed that I know I didn't talk about it, and you probably touched it. I probably didn't hear it. But with that being said, or rather, I say, and with that being said, I apologize for using "but." I should not use that. And with that being said, the one thing that we didn't focus on, or I didn't focus on, was not only did he win the case against the Supreme Court, he spoke their language. That's the key behind everything. He spoke the language, and that's what made the court turn around and say, wait a minute, time out. He's speaking like we spoke when we created this damn law.
Yep.
So now we gotta listen to him because he's speaking like we are.
And here's the crazy part: there would never be no type of amendment. There would be no attempt to try to rewrite this Constitution or add other amendments in there if black people would have never started owning firearms. And melanated people would have never started owning firearms, they wouldn't even have brought this subject up. There would be none of that. That's why I keep telling melanated people, stop listening to these Democrats who keep trying to tell you you don't need this, you don't need that. You do need it. You need access to all of it. It don't matter your skin color. Honestly, it don't.
It don't.
But more so, you need to have it because here's the thing: you can't tell me that you got a problem with slavery, but you're going to let the very same people that enslaved you tell you what you can have to protect yourself from slavery.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Make that make sense.
Say it again, Ron. Say it again.
You're going to let the very people that enslaved you and tried to slave you and wanted to keep slavery, fought to keep it, tell you that you don't need access to the best weapons possible to protect yourself from the probability of them doing it again. Because who was trying to keep slavery? Democrats. Who keeps trying to keep you from having a firearm? Democrats. By and large.
And yet, all you people who keep calling yourselves black want to keep voting for these black politicians that are actually working against you. Because let's try something. Let me try something out here for size. Wasn't it true that when those listen to me now? All you people that call yourselves black, yeah, I said it, yourselves. I said it just like that. Yourselves, you call yourselves black.
Right.
Was there not a point where someone was saying that the person in the big house had to be black in order for the slaves to do what the owner of the slave house was telling them what to do? Wasn't that nicknamed Uncle Tom? And Mabel was the one that kept all the housekeepers in check. Wasn't she also black? I'm just asking. Just asking. Because I remember I took a tour one time and we went to a plantation. And at that plantation, they said that the people who ran the houses, yes, the ones who owned the house were the Caucasian white folk, but
Mhm.
the ones who ran the house were were the proper slaves that were telling all the other improper slaves what to do. So I'm just asking. So if we went way back when that was happening, why is it now several decades later there are so many black people still following the same trait, listening to someone who's being spoken to by someone who doesn't care about you and telling you what to do through the voice of someone who looks like you,
Right.
but you're following them.
And that's why I always say that the KKK got wise. They got smart. They ain't pulling out. They're not chasing you down and trying to lynch you. They came up with a better functional system. They infiltrated into the government and allowed you. Now they say no, we ain't gotta do that. What we do is we'll write laws and make them felons, and
Yeah,
then we can imprison them,
yeah. To make you a slave again.
make you a slave again to the state. Ain't that what they
Exactly.
say you are? Right. So
Let's not
again,
forget.
but
Still to this,
you see where this is going.
if I'm not mistaken, I live in the South.
Right.
Okay. And I could tell you, I still see chain gangs in the South.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So again, if if I notice, okay, slavery is no longer legal, right? They say, okay,
Who said?
now you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. This is when they changed the law that
Yeah,
they abolished
yeah,
slavery, right? So
yeah,
okay, we cool.
yeah.
We already had this backup system that we was gonna go into anyway, but they so again, they all go into politics. They rewrite constitution and they throw in this felon thing. And then they go into the black communities and say, oh, if you own a shotgun and you have it out in public, we're going to arrest you, put you in jail, and make you a felon. And now that you're a felon, you can't own a firearm. The Second Amendment don't say that. In its original form, it does not say that.
Oh,
This is where you got to understand. We voted, black melanated people voted for these people that was doing this because they act like they were your friend. They virtually signal, and they still doing it to this day. Oh, we need to protect you from guns. We need to get the guns off the street. You can lay 1,000 guns on the street and nobody will die until somebody crazy picks them up.
that's true.
You can lay them everywhere.
This is true.
And nothing's gonna happen until a crazy cuckoo picks them up and start using them on people. So it's not gonna solve it. Guess what? You ain't gotta have nothing. You can lay a bunch of knives around on the street. They
Now,
ain't gonna do nothing to nobody
you right.
until somebody decide to pick them up and do something vicious with it.
That's right.
Hey, you
That's
ain't
right.
got to use knives. We can just go what's already out there. A bunch of them in the street right now. And they call cars and
That's right.
trucks and vehicles
That's right. That's right.
until someone gets crazy or drunk. Like I'm gonna just say crazy and intentionally start running people over. Guess what? You ain't
That's
got nothing
right.
to worry about.
That's
If
right.
they're all outside and ain't nobody operating them, guess what? You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Ain't nothing to worry about. Now,
But go ahead.
I gotta piggyback off of what we talk about when we talk about gun laws, right? And we heavily push the Second Amendment.
Right,
And for those that keep forgetting, there's actually a second part to the Second Amendment that's called the 14th Amendment
right,
that many people don't know about and or just refuse to know about. And just for case,
right,
just for shits and giggles, the 14th Amendment states it is made to, and as it says here, barred state from depriving anyone of life, liberty, or property without due process. And here comes the kicker, guaranteed all individuals equal protection under the law. So what does that mean?
well, they're
When we talk
supposed to
about
guarantee.
government tyranny again, we
Right,
talk about how the government's turning around and says, "Oh, you can't do X, Y, and Z." Well, hold up, time out. Why are you doing it then? So it's more like a do as I say, not as I do type thing.
right. Because
Look,
these very same people that say that, meanwhile, all right, I'm gonna use the president, even though I know the president don't do it, but we're gonna use the president.
go ahead.
The president of the United States, let's just say he says, we don't want civilians having access to the best weapons possible, right? All right,
Okay.
cool, buddy. Exercise that very same behavior and get rid of your Secret Service. Get rid of all that around you that's protecting your life. See how that sound? So, and I know that Trump doesn't talk this way, but my point I'm making is this: the ones that say it will never stop the security from being around. If guns is that dangerous, why are you having people standing around you with them?
And just to piggyback off of that, aren't those people civilians? So if the Secret Service employee is a civilian, why has he got a firearm better than me? I'm just saying. And for those that don't know, Ron has actually frozen at this time. We're going to give him a couple of moments to come back online. What we have to understand is this: when you look at a politician that walks around with more than 2 armed individuals and states that guns should not be owned by citizens, those 2 individuals are still citizens at the end of the day. Just because they have an employment or a job that allows them to carry, hell, the security guard has the right to carry his or her own firearm. Hell, there's bus drivers driving around in certain places with guns on them. I mean, because they have that right to do so, and they're using them against people who fire upon them. So what we have to understand is this: gun laws are created to hinder the law-abiding citizen. Many laws are created to hinder the law-abiding citizen. And to piggyback again off of our main topic of tonight's story or segment is an 18-year-old individual that was melanated. Maybe he was caramel colored, paper bag colored, black as tar you drive on, doesn't matter. He spoke the language and stopped the Supreme Court from ruling against him. So
Yeah.
now that Brother Ron is back, what I was saying was that if the people are citizens, as you mentioned,
Right.
how is it possible if the citizens are being told we can't have any guns, but yet the guy and the girl that's still a citizen that's standing next to the president or the politician is still a citizen? Why
Yep.
are they carrying guns? Because it's their job?
Like I said, if you really feel that strongly about it, then you be first partaker. Remove them of
Exactly.
all your
Tell
presence.
everybody. That's right. Tell everybody in your in your patrol detail, don't carry a firearm.
Don't
Be
carry
like
fire.
China.
Just give them all whistles.
That's it. China and the UK and Britain and Ireland. Whistles and
Give them
night.
all whistles.
That's it.
Be the first, and that don't mean that we as citizens is gonna follow suit. We just saying, let's see you be the first partaker.
Listen, isn't the old ruling now? This is where see what I'm about to say is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. It's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. But I already know people don't like me, right? I'm the uncle that everybody hates, or that me say the majority of people hate. So here's the thing: you call yourself black as a human being. You turn around and say I'm pro-black, black power this, black power that, but yet you're a follower because someone else told you what to do. So how are you a leader when you're just a follower? Make it make sense. People in power are not followers. People in power, hence the reason why the term is called leaders
Right.
of the government.
Well, they're not my leaders.
Well, they're not mine either.
See,
I'm just asking a simplified question.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but they're not my leaders. See, the thing where they get it twisted at is that they are elected officials.
True.
So how do they get their job?
Because it took a bunch of regular people to say, we want you to speak for us.
Right. We want you to represent us. Right. So
Right.
that means that you work for the people.
This is true.
Right. So if you work for the people, you shouldn't be trying to decide what on the people's lives. The people should be deciding what you're supposed to do what the people want.
Exactly.
And that's why then if you don't do what the people want, the Second Amendment is necessary to what? To keep a free state, to keep the people free. Because
That's right.
if you turn around and use it and turn around and weaponize the system against us, then we come for you. That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's right. Now, how many people are doing it?
None. Because somewhere along the line, we let government get big enough, we think they got power that they don't have.
Which
they
now
got
comes back. Which now comes
boogeyman.
back to my question: why call them leaders and not yourself, or not us, rather, not you or I?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those that turn around and say, "Oh, well, we pro-black, we're powerful, we're this, we're leaders," but yet you keep electing people who don't care about you to be your voice.
Right. Because if they cared about you, like I give you a prime example in the city of Chicago, if that mayor cared about the people, he wouldn't have never been doing the stuff. He wouldn't have been trying to spend all that money on illegal immigrants. Number one. Number two,
Okay.
he would have never let people infiltrate into their city where the people and take over all the resources that the people have in the city that live
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
He would have never sold them out for the money that he was selling them out for to keep it in his pocket. And he wouldn't have never had 30 to 50 detailed security officers around him if your city is so-called safe like you say it is. Why you need 30 police officers on your security detail spending almost over $1 million a year to protect you?
And how come your house is bigger than mine, and I
Right.
pay you?
And you right, exactly. So there's a whole lot of bull crap that goes on around it.
How you got a better car than me, and I'm paying you? I believe
Nobody's
you said. I believe you said this in one of the segments. How is it that the boss
right.
is being told what to do because the boss is paying the politician what to say?
Right. How you gonna tell me what to do and I'm your boss? It's like you own a company, you hire employees, and the employee come in and tell you what to do and it's your company.
Hey,
Wait a
keep
minute, I
voting for
hired
that
you
skin,
and you gonna tell me what to do?
keep voting for that skin color.
It's
Keep
bold.
voting for that skin color. That's right.
That's
Keep
bold.
believing that the skin color is going to look out for you.
Right. And listen, I'm not saying that all skin color don't. I think, again, merit, like Jay said, listen to what they're saying and ask yourself, is it beneficial to me? Really? Now, I'm not talking about the smoke and mirror stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that these politicians say that is not beneficial to you. If they say we need limited capacity magazines, that is not beneficial to nobody.
Prove it.
Prove it. Because it's not. There is no, if they say we need to ban certain guns, that is not beneficial to nobody.
Prove it.
It's only beneficial to the politician, not the citizen. Why? Because if the citizens are not out there doing the crazy stuff.
Nope.
So why do you want to ban it? Why do you want to do any of that? That means that you have another hidden agenda behind this, because you know it don't affect criminals at all. So what is your real intent behind this? If you know it don't affect criminals, it don't stop them from getting high capacity magazines. It don't stop them from having access to best weapons. It don't stop them from getting weapons that you don't even know about, because they never gonna tell you anyway. The stuff that they got, they doing it the right way. The government don't have nothing to do with what they got. So my thing is this: if you know 100% that it has no effect on criminals, it does none of that y'all talking about, but yet you keep spinning this narrative. Why? Because there's another hidden intent behind it, and the intent is to control the people. Once you elect me in office, now I'm your boss. I'm gonna tell you what to do.
This is true, and you're gonna keep giving me that money. So let me try something out here real quick. We hear a lot of people presently complaining about we heard a lot of people complain about the president, right?
Right.
How he was doing so many things wrong, and how he was only looking at one side of people, one specific kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
You notice how after tax season, a lot of people stood quiet?
Because they was getting them nice checks. Listen, people are so fickle. One thing I learned about people is they're fickle. They're fickle. They're very fickle. And my thing is this: is that most of them that talk, that when most of them don't pay attention to what's really going on or what's really behind the scenes. They just listen to what somebody say and they just rock with that. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. My thing is this: that honestly, and I said to people, I said, if you look at the vast majority of stuff that he did, as far as in America, it is more beneficial to melanated people than any group of people, because we're the ones majority was affected by the stuff. If he getting rid of legal immigrants, it wasn't in nobody's name, mostly in our neighborhoods where we have our resources, our jobs. They were in our neighborhoods. So how in the world is that racist when he's removing them from the very same people that is by far more affected by it. And listen, the people that's in your city, like the mayor in Chicago and stuff, trying to keep them there. They trying to keep them there. Well, I know why they're trying to keep them there, because the laundering of the money. Because they homies on the hotels and the rental properties and stuff. And if the government is giving them $6,000-$7,000 a year, $10,000 a year for these properties, they need to keep that train going.
That's a month.
Oh, you know what I meant to say? A month. I'm sorry.
A month, every month.
Yeah,
right.
A month. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they need to keep that train going.
Let me piggyback off of that. I know we were moving the goalposts a little bit, but let me piggyback, because you brought up an interesting point here. So, if Black people were so concerned about them, and I'm gonna keep it the way I've heard it.
Right.
Black people were so concerned about the Mexicans taking their jobs. That's the way to put it. Oh, I'm tired of the Mexicans taking my job. But you ain't the one standing out in the fields pulling them strawberries, pulling them cabbages, pulling those oranges. I have yet, and again, I don't mean this in any racist form. It's just a fact of the matter. I have not yet seen someone that calls themselves Black standing on any side of the road or any highway selling any kind of avocados or oranges.
But again,
I see them buying them, but I don't see them selling them.
But again, right. But here's the thing. If they over here illegally, they shouldn't be out there. Go hire Americans to do the job. But
and that's because Black folk,
but if you ain't gonna do the job,
pro-Black,
right,
don't want to do the job. And
well,
do not call me a liar. Don't call me a liar.
No, I said a lot of them don't. But
no.
But again, it doesn't matter whether they want to do a job or not. But here's the thing: if you can't find work, and that's your only option, and you ain't willing to take it. Now, here's the thing. Again, I personally, if you're over here illegal, you got to go. I don't care who you are. I'm great. You do work, everything. You should have did it the right way. That's always going to be my stance, because I don't care if they're not willing to work as fans. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is they're going to undercut the job. They're going to get paid a little bit of money. And then these mostly Democrats own these companies, fields and stuff. They want them there so they can get high profit. They're not going to want to pay Americans that money that American citizens would have been making to do the same job. That's why they want them there. Now, I'm not going to go out there and work for $7.25 an hour. I can tell you right now, I ain't going to do it.
Why not?
Because I got to eat, and that ain't a wage for me. That's for somebody else.
Is it safe to say that you overstep your abilities of how to live?
Well, here's the thing. If that's what it's paying, I'm not going to take it. Because I know because I have the ability to make more money than that.
Now watch this. Watch this. Because I have a pretty good idea of which route you would take, yet I'm going to say it anyway.
Right.
Your mental capacity is by far knowing if this person's offering me $7.25, I'll take the $7.25, but I'm going to create a secondary and a treachery way of making money so that my living lifestyle does not get hindered.
Right.
That's you. That's you. And why I say that's you is because I listened to how you actually said that you do what you do when it comes to making money.
Right.
So with that being said, and we look at other people,
right,
Latinos included, Caucasians included, Mexicans, race, creed, listen, those that don't want to find a way to make additional money, you can't complain about nothing.
Right.
We said, I know we moved the goalposts. Let me last statement. If Jasmine Crockett herself said that her people will not pick any type of vegetation.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't. That's not what I said. I said I wouldn't do it for $7.25 an hour. That's what I said, because I know that mentally I know how to make more money, and I can do, because I have skills and I have the ability to do stuff. I'll say, nah. Now, if that's all I have, then that's my only option. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it for the time being. and I'm gonna make things go better. Now,
Exactly.
that's me.
I
That's
believe
a
in the barter
different,
system.
right? That's me. I'm a different animal. But at the same time, if a farmer is not put in a predicament where they have to pay more money because they need legal workers here and not illegal workers here, that's where it kind of changes, because I don't care about immigration. I'm all for immigration, like people coming over here, so not ones that come across here just sneaking in here. No, I don't care who you are. Go back, do it the right way, because at the end of the day, that's just like coming in my house. That's the only difference between me. I like immigration. I think I don't have a problem with that, because if you don't come over here the right way, you're not taught the way that we are, and you're gonna come over here and bring that mess from your own country. And if you want your country that great, if your own country that great, then stay right there and do it there. I don't want nobody to change what America is into what they are. So that's why we have a vetted system. You have to learn to adapt to the way America is as much as possible. You can bring your culture, but I don't want that, because a lot of these places come from communist places, and I'm not with that. I love my America. I love my freedom.
I,
Now,
I
it
hear
has its
you.
limitations.
I hear you.
It ain't perfect.
But yeah, I hear you.
It's far from perfect. It got its limitations.
I,
But here's the thing. I don't see us in Groves trying to escape to somewhere else.
well. Unfortunately,
There's a
before you
handful
were
of them.
before you was thought of,
Right.
there was a group of melanated people that were in droves trying to get away from another group of people,
Trying to get away or trying to go back to another country.
trying to get away.
Oh, okay. Well, I know trying to get away.
Where were they going? They
Well,
couldn't
most
get
of them
back
were
to their
just going
country.
up north.
There was no way to get back to their country.
So they started migrating more north from down that south where y'all crazy people were. At that time.
Look, we're talking about East and West. We're talking about Cali to New York before New York was
Yeah.
called New York and before Cali was called New Cali.
Right. So my thing is this: I get all of that, and I don't dispute. I don't throw none of that in the trash. But I'm not living in that time period. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
I'm
You're
living
not
in the now.
it's funny you say that. It's funny you
Right.
say that. You're not living in that time frame.
Right.
Unfortunately, we actually are living in that time frame. The only
How so?
difference is that it's spoken in a different way, and we believing what's being said as opposed to really diving deep into what's being said for our own benefit. And I say that because we said it a moment ago. You wouldn't
Right.
work for 7.25 an hour. That's what you said, right? Because of the way
Unless I really had to.
you value yourself,
Right. Unless
unless
I
you
really
really
had to.
had to.
Right.
And yet you value yourself to being more. Yet
Right.
there was a time in your life that you took what was being offered
Right.
and you learned how to make more from that.
Right.
It may not be now because you have learned how to become a much more successful individual.
Right.
Yet still the same game is being played. It's just now
Right.
you know how to play the game versus being part of the game.
Right. And
That's the difference.
and I agree with you. I think that is, and that's why I talk the way that I talk, is that I realize that yes, all of those things are occurring and we learn from history. Like that's the thing, is you learn from history and hopefully you don't repeat it. But some things you also learn from history that's okay to repeat
Name
if it's
me,
beneficial.
tell me what's okay to repeat.
What's okay to repeat?
Yeah.
Tariffs. Tariffs.
Did you say tariffs or terrorism?
No, not terrorism. Tariffs. Like when you charge other countries to
Okay.
bring product over here in America, that I like to repeat it back to similar to what it used to be, so that we can not pay as much in taxes.
Okay. I get that. And we both know that we agree on a lot of things and we disagree on a lot of things.
Right.
I totally with you 100% on the tariffs. 100%. Where I also feel that we're missing the line is that if we get as we get those tariffs, how come we don't have a bunch of people standing online to get the jobs that are paying the right amount of money from those tariffs, and you have a bunch of individuals that prefer not to work or work and expect that good pay and not do the actual job.
I feel like if you don't work, you shouldn't eat.
I agree.
I don't. I personally, now I'm not talking about people that are too old. I'm not talking about people that have real physical problems that they can't do it, and I'm not talking about people that have real mental health issues they just can't do it. None those are excluded out of what I'm saying. The rest of you lazy bums, I'm talking about you. If you don't want to work, you shouldn't eat. And I'm gonna explain to you why.
How do we
It's
get fat?
because every time I'm out and I'm driving around and I look at the, all right, I'm freezing again. But anyway, I'm
You
gonna
are.
keep talking.
Go ahead. There you go.
Every time that I'm out and I'm driving around different places and stuff, and I look at all of these bridges, I look at the roads, the bridges, the electrical lines. Some of these bridges that are built, like some of the, even the old ones, the amount of stones and rocks and boulders that they use to make this, the train tracks, all of this massive, massive infrastructure that we have that's almost unbelievable that you just, and you marvel at the things that men do. Like when I say men, I'm talking about human beings. I'm just saying
Right.
men in general.
Right.
But you marvel at it. We would not have none of this if we had a lazy society.
This is true.
That's why I say if you don't work, you should not eat because that means you're not contributing to the functionality of this world. Meaning farmers are out there farming and growing food so that people can eat and they can eat. People out there making product, cleaning products, like you guys make hair care products, skin care products, different things so people for people to use so that they don't have to actually go try to make all this stuff themselves, which is a convenience for them, but it's great product, right? Again, y'all work to do that. If you didn't do what y'all did and other companies didn't do what they did, where would this stuff come from? This is why most societies, if you look at a lazy society, you can 100% conclude that it's going to fall.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
It's
that.
going to fall. Yeah. That's why you should not even want to be a partaker in that. A productive society will always generate the best living conditions possible. Why? Because people are productive. Now, there is a point where it becomes overproductive, meaning it's so overproductive and so hypertension that you're working with no breaks, with
Right.
no, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's overworked. But I
Okay.
know that there is a balance in there, and as an individual, you got to find that balance.
And that's where it gets. I mean, I know we're a little bit off topic. A lot of people trying to
Hey
figure out
man,
what
it's
we're
our
doing.
show.
What
We
we're
can
talking
do what we want.
about. This is true. And the reason why it's imperative to understand what we're talking about is because when we talk about laws,
Hmm.
try to bring it back around, we still have to understand that the way we do things, it took someone to say this is the way it's supposed to be done. And as we learn how to do it, that is the reason why some of us do and are not consumers versus those that do and capitalize off of the consumers
Right.
because of the laws that are created.
I
Because
love capitalism.
you said it a moment ago, the companies like ourselves and there's other companies out there that make products, and there's people who want to buy the product because they're too lazy or they don't have the mental capacity to do so. And unfortunately, with this time of life, there are many individuals that do not hold information more than 30 seconds.
Hey, you ain't lying there.
I mean, look, I kid you not, I kid you not. I met a young lady. She had to be between maybe 25 and 30. She did not know that her vehicle had an emergency function that allows her to put the vehicle in neutral when it's off. And she says to me, "All I know how to do is drive." I said, "Do you know where the gas tank is at?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Then you don't know how to only drive." But unfortunately, what the reason of that story is because that generation of 25 and 35 scares the shit out of me, because that tells me that if you're between 45 and 15, you is as dumb as a box of rocks. Okay? Because if you keep believing that this world is functioning, you definitely don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you don't. You clueless.
Exactly.
And if you don't get a hold of that and you don't figure that part out, you're gonna be left behind.
And that's why it's scary.
Well,
That's why it's scary.
we're up there. We're on the top end of age anyway. We won't be around here to see happen.
No, no,
I'm
no.
joking. I'm
Look,
kidding around, bro.
I took a life pill, damn it. Now, I'm going to be around here for quite some miles.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. And my thing is this: if you're on the live, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check this out. Don't be lazy. That's it. Find something that you're good at. Find something that people that people want. Make something, build something. Go. Don't be lazy. Lazy. If you want to know why you broke, it's because you lazy. It's two reasons. Mostly because you're lazy. That's the bigger one. The other reason is you're irresponsible. Now, here's my point to that.
I disagree.
If you're lazy, that means nothing from nothing leaves what? Nothing.
To nothing.
You don't get up and do nothing. You ain't going to get nothing. That means you're going to end up with nothing.
Okay.
That's the lazy part. Now, the irresponsible part is you get up and you do something. You are also making something. But you put so much value into worthless stuff that you spend it all on that. That's why you end up with nothing. That's the irresponsible part.
So let me ask. I got to
leave me alone.
No, your name's not Bam Bam. Listen.
That was funny. Inside joke, y'all might not get it, but
watch the past videos of the OG network on the Frackers, then you'll understand what it is. Every Sunday,
you can watch the past video or go to the OG network songs and listen to Leave Bam Bam Alone. Do y'all understand?
That's right. So the irresponsible part, here's where I disagree with you with the irresponsible part. Because you can be an individual or a group of individuals, or a group of people, rather, should I say, that come together, try your very hardest to be successful, do everything you have to do, yet, unfortunately, there be powers at being that will hinder you from moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because they're afraid of what you can can actually become.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm a little uncomfortable with the way.
But there's a solution to that part. There's a solution to that part.
Tell me.
Death.
Well, this is true. Death be upon them.
If it's in your way, run it over.
This is true. Death be come up on them.
And if it's in your way, run it over. If you can't get around it, truck through it.
Go through it. That's right. And if I'm not mistaken, it's and I know we went far off of where we're from. Yet it really does all tie in together.
Because honestly, it all ties together. It really
does. Because at the end of the day, what we're talking about are the rights of us, the right to do certain things.
If you don't have a weapon, if you don't have access to the best weapons possible, all of these other benefits that we're talking about can be easily stripped away even further.
Absolutely.
Because of that. So the Second Amendment plays a major part in your rights, because no one cares if you're not a threat.
No.
The government is not going to care if there's no threat of the people.
Right.
They no longer, matter of fact, you can't even call them government no more. You know what you got to call them? Kings and rulers.
True.
because at that point they have assumed all power,
True.
kings and rulers,
True.
and that's why America is set up in the way that it's set up to prevent us from having kings and rulers. That's why it's the way it is.
Yep.
That's why we never had a king, and we don't have rulers because of that reason. We got a system, and I'm not saying it's perfect, but that's why we have the system it is. Our elected officials are hired hands. What they are, hired hands. We hired them to handle the stuff like infrastructure and keeping this world, this United States of America, structurally functional. Some of the stuff the government is involved in, they shouldn't be involved. Their job, their function is totally way past what they should be doing.
That's like the old saying goes. You should not. If the president cannot be president for over 3 terms, is that not the same thing? Trying to tell you that you should not have someone telling you what to do after a long period of time?
No, we shouldn't have it. And like I said, so even though we're talking about this stuff, it ties into this is why the founders wrote that Second Amendment. It's a lot more deeper than y'all realize. It's written there to keep the rest. It is written the way it's written to keep all of the rest of it. If you don't have a Second Amendment, if you don't have the right to keep and bear arms, then they can turn around and tell you what you can and cannot say. This is why the Second Amendment is always going to be the first attack, the most attacked. It's because that one keeps the rest. Right. That's the one that they attack the most, is because that is the biggest threat to them politically. If they can get rid of the Second Amendment, then at that point you become powerless to the government. But as long as that 100 million plus firearms in America owned by American citizens, that's a real threat. And yes, it is possibly estimated 100 guns for every citizen in America. 100 guns estimated for every citizen. So that means that between me and Jay, there's 200 guns.
That's right. That's right.
But that's estimated. But my thing is this. That means that a lot of people in America got firearms. Now, right. I'm going to say probably 50,000 of them just as runs on diesel on himself.
Yeah, we gotta give him a big old shout out.
Yeah. I know he said a lot of them was like, people that he hung out with and they shoot different firearms and stuff, but I know he got a plethora.
He's got a plethora.
But with that said, go ahead, Jay.
I wonder how many people actually do know what the Second Amendment is. I don't think they actually know.
I doubt it.
I don't think they know.
No. They probably they don't think it's important.
Right. To know. Right.
But the more we do this show, the more we reach the the people, and I love the fact that you put it on your background, man. I like it a lot. I wanted to say that of course you can't read mine. Mine is up there, but it's so blocked off.
We the people have the right to form a militia to protect our property.
Right. But
from
like I said, I like it. And here's the thing, this is why I wanted to do this show, and this is why we got involved in doing Firearm Fridays, is that we can have fun, enjoy ourselves, but also educate as much as, and also educate ourselves, but also educate the public. Because we're learning a lot of stuff on our own also. We don't have it all. We don't know it all. We're still learning. We powwow with each other online. We talk what we know. We come up with different subjects. And we try to tie everything in. And that's why sometimes we do go all politically, because, again, it's an educational for you to understand why we need that Second Amendment, why we need them to take their hands off of it. And the more we can get people to start voting the right way. And this is, honestly, it's not even so much about party. It is, but it really isn't. It's about, you got to pay attention to what they're saying. And you got to really, really deep take your emotions and your feelings out of them and say, is this benefit? Why would you want to stop me from owning firearms? What did I do to you?
Yeah.
What
Like
is
when you crack,
what is the threat of me having a firearm?
it's like when you bump into somebody on a cheese line that you went to go to you went to the welfare center to go get your cheese and you're staying online and you bump into somebody and they look at you and you like, what I do to you that you looking at me like that for? And they turn around and say, well, you bumped into me, you didn't say excuse me. Just because you didn't hear me doesn't mean I didn't say it. So they gotta learn. They gotta
Yeah.
learn.
And
They gotta
we'll,
learn.
you know what I mean, and we're gonna keep doing these shows, as we can.
Well, I really hope so.
Yeah, as
I
we,
really hope so.
and as we educate ourselves, as we educate people, and it's like Jay said, get some training, get training, make sure you get training. I mean, we didn't get a chance to run the commercials, which maybe now next time we'll run the commercials. But there is a commercial that we do have that offers some type of training if you're in the state of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Anubis,
Pennsauken, New
huh?
Jersey. Pennsauken, right?
Pennsauken, New Jersey. Anubis Arms Gun Club is what they're called. Um, so there is a place there, and actually, also Black Guns Matter, the one we did the video on, they also offer gun training.
This is true.
So
Mars,
this is
yep,
two
Mars, yeah.
places that offers gun training and stuff like that. And I do want to redo that video for them whenever I get a chance. I'm gonna go visit their store one day and check out their store, whatever. And I want to redo the video, redo the commercial watch screen instead of. Go ahead.
Can I be part of that day? Can we video chat that day? You call me and video chat and we
Yeah,
we
yeah,
video chat?
yeah. I know what he's gonna do, so I already know. I ain't gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up. I already know. I don't know if I want to call you.
I need to know. I need to know, dang it.
I promise you this much.
Look, I'm not a teacher. I'm still a student. I love this show because I learn a lot of things on this show.
And we
So I
both
wanna
learned it. But I promise you this much. When I redo it, that is not going to be in it a second time.
I hope. Well, hey, listen.
But it is what it is. I mean, like, I'm a suggest. I'm not going to make them. I'm going to suggest.
Exactly, because again, like we won't get into it yet. When you limit yourself, you get nothing.
Right, and then I'm gonna but I want to one day. When I get a chance to go to Philly, I'm gonna try to see if I can link up with Maj.
Get him on the show.
And see if I can get him on the show. He seemed like a decent dude. He was actually on what's your name show before. Coleon.
Just make sure you wear
Coleon Noah?
a shirt, whatever.
Yeah, he was on Coleon Noah's show.
I don't know.
I know Coleon, you don't know who he is? Oh man, he's like the biggest gun person on YouTube. Huh?
I'm a student here. I learn things new every day when we come out. Every time I learn.
You know who he is. You just don't know who I'm talking about. I guarantee you know who he is.
Okay.
Guarantee. You just don't. You're not putting it to. But trust me when I tell you, he's another black guy. He's like the biggest gun black guy on YouTube.
One with the cap.
Yeah, he be selling his own merchandise.
I think I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think I know you're talking about. I think I could be wrong.
He's a lawyer too. He has a lawyer's degree. So I know you know what I'm talking about.
I probably do.
But he's I know like you don't oh yeah, what's your name? Looks like Out the Pitnam on too tonight. So for those that are all here Out the Pitnam, I think they're live. I didn't know. I just noticed it on my phone. But
do I need to go over there and troll?
But I know you.
Oh my lord! With that kind of title, yeah.
I ain't go into it. What's the title?
Can I read it here? I mean, they're part of the OG network, so yeah, I can read it.
This guy in Texas, Jay. This guy.
Yes. That's exactly who I thought you was talking about. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But we getting ready to close out the show because Jay getting ready to go troll. What is that title? Hold up.
You sure you want to know? I'm gonna tell you anyway. Are humans qualified to act as judge, jury, executioner?
Oh man, Jay going over to Detroit. I already see it coming.
God dang it! If I got my 357 on my hip and my 9mm under my arm and my shotgun hanging from my shoulder, you can best believe I'm judge, jury, and executioner because you ain't getting up no more. Look, yeah, I'm gonna behave myself. No, I'm not gonna behave myself. I'm gonna go over there and troll.
Yeah, I got it on my phone. Once I realized, I just clicked it on the phone.
I just
But
saw what you said it.
yeah, it's gonna be on the thing. But I'm going to sleep, bro.
Yeah, I know how you do. It's way past your bedtime anyway.
It'll be on, but I'll be asleep. But with that said, we get ready to get up out of here. Every single one of y'all, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure y'all follow both channels. Please stay on date. Every Friday we have Fire on Fridays. We appreciate y'all. All your support and everything. Real talk. I'm not sure if we're gonna be doing I don't Fracking show tomorrow, Jay. I might end up canceling.
Okay.
Might.
Well, definitely not tomorrow. It'll be Sunday, but tomorrow's Saturday.
Well, you know what I meant to say, Sunday.
Yeah,
but,
I got you.
You know.
Well, then that's fine too. Let everybody figure out something else to do.
Yeah. That means. So I might, maybe shut it down for the Sunday and we just resume the next Sunday.
That's fine.
But yeah, but like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure y'all use that OG Network promo code for all your purchases of top to bottom hair and skincare products. If you spend $35 or more, you get 15% discount if you use that promo code OG Network 26. OG Network 26. Get you 15% off $35 purchases. That's real talk. And yep. Anything else, my brother, before we shout on out of here?
The only thing, like I always say, brother, it's always a humbling moment to be around you, in your presence, in your realm. I'm glad that we're doing this, and let's just keep pushing it, brother.
Keep it rolling. Yes, and we get ready to click our theme song. But listen, y'all, anybody like the theme songs that we have on the show? You can go to my channel, OG Network Songs, and you'll hear all the songs that part of the show in its entirety without us cutting it and everything like that. And all I gotta say is, Care Bear.
Speaking of Care Bear, after we close out tonight's show, I don't leave.
Okay.
Let's stay backstage for a moment.
Okay, no problem, bro.
All right.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you. Too loud laugh, make a whole